How far did the widespread use of dansets affect the way you recorded music in the 50s and 60s?
Tremendously. I think I'd been at Levy's about 3 years when Morris decided to really promote Oriole Records, or relaunch Oriole Records. They had a few hits with Old Shep and Nancy Whiskey, but they'd been one-offs, and so he decided to relaunch the whole label. And he brought in a guy called John Schroeder from EMI, who had written and produced Helen Shapiro's records. Now, up until then, my recording had been listening to it on a big studio monitor, you know, because it sounded fantastic. Very often when we cut the record, it didn't sound that good.
What monitors did you have?
We had Tannoy Reds in Lockwood cabinets, driven by leak amplifiers.
But they didn't sound good when they were played back.
By the time you cut them,
yeah,
and listen to it on a small record player, compared to other companies' records, our records always sounded quiet and thin. And so John spent a lot of time telling me about what he called value for money. He said, you have to realise that, you know, when somebody buys a Helen Shapiro record, and the record buying public then were 14 to 19-year-old girls, he said they will have the record player next to their pillow, and they are listening to that person singing to them. You know, that's their boyfriend or another girlfriend telling them about lost love or found love or whatever. But they want the sound right in front of them, not laid back. And so we then got some compressors and limiters. We had a wonderful EMI limiter, about that high, green. Can't remember the model number. That was a limiter, and then we had 2 or 3 Alltech compressors, just to squash the sound up, and in a way flatten it. And so that's when I started learning about compression and limiting and the difference when you use a compressor and when you use a limiter. Just to make those records, and they did then sound a lot louder in comparison with, you know, EMI, Decca, Philips, whatever records. And so then we were able to make loud records, which was very important.